Hey there, everybody. Part one of this broken down old celluloid pocket knife. You can see it's got rust issues on it. I think it's Novelty Cutlery Company. It looks like the tang stamp. I can't tell much on that, but it does say Canton, as I understand it. So I'm going with Novelty Cutlery Company out of Canton, Ohio. Rust going on here. Does seem to work. No snap there, but it might clean up once I get stuff going on. Whitler pattern, brass liners and spacers. So we'll see. We'll see if the handles hold up. It seems like they're barely hanging on. But there you go, part one, and I will be back for me in a little bit. For you in 3, 2, 1. The handles did not survive. They started falling apart, and so took them all off. So hopefully somebody appreciates this for what it is and may be able to put some handles on it. But the rest of it came out okay. The main blade still doesn't work very well. The snap, you can kind of see that there's a snap there now, but I've gotten in trouble on eBay for saying the snap isn't that great, and then they come back and tell me there is no snap. So anyways, this isn't eBay. It is, in my opinion, a pretty nice knife. It's got the nice liners here. It's a Whitler pattern, so it has this main blade that goes in between the two secondary blades there, and otherwise kind of a standard equal-ended pattern here, other than the nice Whitler pattern. Two minor blades were pretty good. They're in decent enough shape. You don't see those sandpapering lines that have been very common on my grandfather's knives. It has a half stop and a snap to it. And then this other secondary blade, the spear point, I guess you would call this. Same kind of deal. It's got the tarnishing and pitting from all the rust and time and everything, but still a lot of life left in there, and a half stop and a snap. So pretty good knife underneath all the rust and everything. You could see all the pitting where the rust really chewed into the spring there. I've mentioned this time and time again. I don't have a lot of time, energy and everything to just like restore all of my grandfather's knives. My grandfather passed down, I think it was, the final count was like 1,200 knives, and so that's a lot of pocket knives, and I don't have all the head time and energy to like fully restore them. So I'll clean them up a bit, depending on the condition and the type and the perceived value and collectability and all that. These novelty knives, they're medium collectability. They're of course much better when they have handles and the pictures are intact and things like that. But as far as the knives themselves go, they're pretty good because they're old. They were in business 1879 to 1949. But kind of their heyday was like the 20s and 30s when they patented the celluloid handles and had those picture knives and were selling them through catalogs and stuff. So they're a pretty interesting brand. My grandfather's had a bunch of them come through the collection, so they're kind of fun. And the originator was a Civil War vet and was an interesting guy. So novelty knives are always they're pretty good, but they're not like the same category as like a case, for example, or stuff like that. So it's kind of interesting. I try to get them as close as I can. They end up being pretty good knives, as I've said a few times, and so I'll get them to a condition like this, and hopefully somebody else who has the time can restore them further. So that's gonna do it for this guy. Kind of a skeleton pocket knife at this point. Let's see. I kind of forgot to show off. Let's see if you can see some of the tang stamps in here. The secondary blades actually had the tang stamps. I was unsure because I just could only make out Canton on the main blade tang stamp, but this one actually says NC Co. So that's Novelty Cutlery Company on the secondary blade. And you could see it just slightly better, the Canton over there at Canton, Ohio. So pretty cool. All right, thanks guys. Catch you on the next one.